Test, test.
La, 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 la.
1, 2.
La, 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 la.
Test, test. 1, 2.
La, 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 la.
Engineers and adventurers alike, welcome to the first ever episode of Tabletop, your show for all things tabletop gaming and more. We got a lot of stuff we're going to be covering today, but before we do, introductions are demanded by the general audience. For starters, I am your DM for Louie Valor, and today with me is my co-host for Tabletop himself. Please welcome Louie Rivera. Louie,
How you doing?
welcome on.
Thank you.
So we got a lot to talk about today.
Let's do it.
When it comes down to the world of tabletop gaming. We got a couple of articles, and after we got done with these, we're going to be having a segment where we'll be sharing tabletop stories of many classic tales that has happened during plays of Dungeons & Dragons, Pathfinder, and more. So any further ado, first article we'll be talking about is a bit of a stir over at Wizards of the Coast about the whereabouts of Dragonlance, which is why we have our lovely dragons out on camera today. All sparked by a social media post that has featured Margaret West, Tracy Heckman, actor Joe. You say it.
Joe was Manganiello.
Yeah.
His last name is so just
Yeah.
But he's a good actor.
Yeah, very good.
Love that guy.
We love him in Spider-Man. We love our Flash Thompson. So that's his name.
Flash Thompson.
Flash Thompson. Oh yeah, and head of D&D franchises, or D&D's head of franchise, excuse me, Dan Ayobu, stating on said post, "We're back. ... with all caps and a dragon emoji, likely insinuating that of the contents of Dragonlance, also having a dragon featured in the background of said post. Of course, the report from Bella Lost Souls, reported by no other than J.R. Sombrano on October 23rd of this year, has also shared that, or from articles and such, constant changes at Wizards of the Coast, and last time being mentioned of the live-action Dragonlance TV series that was pitched by Joe himself, being produced back in February of 2025. That was when the last time it was reported on. But one thing is said by Michello himself, states that the show wasn't canceled, but rather that the folks at Wizards of the Coast themselves aren't interested, just as they are with providing quality content to their fans that's not trying to steal their money or try to make the OGL 2.5 like they did 2 years ago. But however, Joe has also stated about buying the rights back to the Dragonlance series as well.
I hope so.
Stating,
I really hope so.
I didn't write a script that was terrible. Calls were made to say this is what you should be making, this is what you should be doing, but currently it is no avail. I offered to buy Dragonlance. I was talking to people with money just to get it and separate it so that it could get the option and take it out on the town, as stated by Joe himself, word for word, and I quote. Also, not the first time that Joe himself has had a project that he was working alongside WotC on making a series, whether it be a documentary or a live-action adaptation. Back, I want to say it was either 2023 or 2024, during a WotC, direct, if you will. He stated he was going to be producing a documentary about how celebrities and many people of all kinds of life got into the world of Dungeons & Dragons, and nothing else has came out of it since the announcement during that Wizards of the Coast direct. Some say it's in developmental hell, as some projects are, or some of them aren't interested in being produced.
In the back burner.
Very much so. Louis, what are your thoughts on Dragonlance possibly getting a chance to be sparked back in on a series being produced or at all?
Yeah, I would say that I'm looking forward for it. Truly, I really like the concept of it. I really want it to come out. But again, if it's sitting in the back burner, somebody please do something so we can get it.
Yeah, and more D&D series as well.
Yes, more D&D series.
Yeah, because so far we have Mighty Nine coming out pretty soon. Ah, God, my throat is scratchy. But besides that,
it was this dragon.
Yeah, Dragon Breath, had to roll D6 to recharge. But besides that, we are having Mighty Nine coming out very soon, believe it or not.
Mighty Nine.
In the fifth and final
Mighty Nine.
The Mighty Nine. In the fifth and final season of The Legend of Vox Machina, coming to an end very soon, later this year as well. Last stated, of course. Again, could be wrong. I apologize in advance. But either way, more D&D series, these legendary tales from module to the big screen. We love to see more of it. Even a sequel to Honor Amongst Thieves, we would love to see that. Hopefully in the future. Please bring back Chris Pine.
Honor Amongst Thieves.
Yeah,
sure. That was a good one. That was such a good one.
Such a good movie. And speaking of moves themselves, Marvel Cinematic Universe is doing somewhat better after Thunderbolts. And not only that, for Marvel Multiverse RPG fans, such as myself and my colleague here.
Heck yeah.
Marvel Multiverse RPG is finally going to be releasing GM screens next month on November 14th under the Narrator bundles. Or those that don't know, Narrator is that game's term for Game Master, Dungeon Master, you name it. As such, in the pack for the Narrator bundle that's going to be released on November 14th to local shops in your town or online stores for availability, it's all going to be coming with no other than the GM screen or Narrator screen, as I believe it's called. Character tokens featuring Marvel heroes and villains and minions too, like your AIM agents and whatnot, you name it. And a square grid map to recreate battlefields such as a damaged New York City or the X Mansion. And speaking of the X Mansion, a similar bundle for the X-Men expansion is going to be released on the same date as well, not only featuring character tokens of our beloved X-Men and Brotherhood of Mutants, but also going to be featuring maps such as the Danger Room, the X Mansion itself, the Institute for Gifted Youngsters, and the Quinjet, which is going to be very, very fun to have a proper map for Marvel Multiverse RPG.
That's going to be cool to play.
Yeah. And we actually tried to play it before when it first came out just last year. I even have the books and everything right behind us as we speak, without a GM screen. And I tell you, GM screens help a lot when it comes to running games. All the rules are there.
Oh yeah.
All of it that you need to help, right in front of you to keep track of things and have a quick answer for any players that acts like, hey, can I pick up this truck? All right, what's your stats? All right, you can, and so on and so forth. So with that said and done, what is your thoughts on finally more accessories or stuff that can make running Marvel Multiverse RPG a lot easier as well?
Well, what I can say is that coming from a player, I am not a GM. I have very bit of a little bit nervous to mess up, but as a player, I would say, hell yes. The more accessories, the better, and we can do endless possibilities. We can basically visually see what we're doing next.
Very.
I mean, design from head to toe. It's awesome.
Right.
By the screen itself, by having the DM screen finally, we won't be able to cheat. That's a nice try. Yeah, I'm not a cheater. Let's just gonna put that out there.
Yeah, no Orion Okaba.
Yeah, no looking over the screen. Yeah, none of that. But so I would say for on a player's eyes perspective, I would say it's an awesome thing to look into, awesome thing to have, awesome thing to just overall. I think it's overall.
Overall, oh yeah, and coming from a DM side as well, running a one shot a couple of times with the Marvel RPG system itself. One with preaching characters, which we did. Spider-Man, you were in that one too. You played Venom.
Venom.
One of our friends played
Venom.
Nightcrawler, and our other colleague played Deadpool. So for them, we played out a scenario where we broke into like an AIM lab like facility and fought AIM agents, freed Bruce Banner, fought Abomination.
Yeah.
So that was really fun. And then when it came
having a double personality.
yeah, with like Venom and Eddie.
Venom, yeah.
Yeah. Oh man. So we had a lot of fun with that, and
For
thankfully,
sure, yeah,
with my prior experience playing Marvel Multiverse already, like months before we got the one shot established and whatnot, because I did play like a weekly Tuesday night game on Roll20 through Discord from Mystery City Gaming. So shout out Mystery City Gaming and Craig himself, the game master and boss of the whole organization. Amazing job of running Marvel Multiverse RPG and also many other tabletop RPG systems alike. And as such, being able to have again that visual of like the map itself, which thankfully Roll20 does, and same thing with its character tokens, and also having all the rules and stats for the GM on his side of the screen to have access to. Not only be able to
make things a whole lot easier,
be able to do that online, but to do it on the table IRL, I think it's more proficient and very easy for players to jump on it without having the need for internet access and so on and so forth. So I'm very excited about it.
I'm very excited about it.
So, and the last thing I'm going to be talking about with again
big
money like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro are going to be creating K-pop Demon Hunters merch, thanks to their deal with Netflix. Again, reported by no other than J.R. Sobrano from Bells of Lost Souls on October 23rd of this year, stating as such, in a big new merchandising deal, Netflix signs both Mattel and Hasbro, the biggest competitors of merchandise manufacturing in the world, to collab. To
freaking collab.
Yeah, two rivals to collab. To work on making K-pop Demon Hunters merch, including roleplay in quotation marks by our dear author JR from Wizards of the Coast. So that is a lot to unpack there. Like, as some may or may not know, Mattel has made several toy lines, from wrestling figures, which I know them by from that source alone, being a avid wrestling fan. Also, Hasbro having the likes of G.I. Joe and Transformers. Mattel also having Masters of the Universe, and so on and so forth, which unfortunately that means we won't get any He-Man and D&D crossover, even though like that was peak 80s, especially with the D&D cartoon.
Are you really serious?
That's why, yeah. Because He-Man and Masters of the Universe is owned by Mattel. Yeah. If it was owned by Hasbro, we would have had it by now. So,
get it, Hasbro.
I don't know. If this deal works, we could have a He-Man crossover too with Dungeons and Dragons, and we have like the Oath of Power for the Paladin.
Oh, that's going to be crazy.
That
would be insane.
That will go so hard. And new backgrounds too. Maybe some new sub races, like kind of the little wizard guy with the purple robe and like the big red hat. You know what I'm talking about. I can't remember his name, but he sounded funny. Oh, and also having your own battle cat. Your green tiger with the red armor. Yeah, we get to have our own battle cat in D&D, but that won't be happening unless it's homebrew. So, but that would be amazing.
Shame.
Outside of He-Man, though, K-pop Demon Hunters has been like blowing up like this past year since release. Not only having theatrical releases, sing-along theatrical releases, and now with merch getting ready to be produced by two of the biggest manufacturers in the U.S. as we speak, when it comes to producing K-pop Demon Hunters. Likely, action figures, Barbie-esque style dolls, of course, and potentially, and I quote, roleplay from Wizards of the Coast. And also maybe even Magic the Gathering cards, too, over for our TCG players out there.
That would be interesting.
That would be very interesting. So, oh man, oh man.
K-pop or Magic the Gathering. That's
Yeah,
actually pretty interesting.
K-pop's been like super popular in the States, even since
Very fast.
I was in high school. Yeah, there's like girls in my class that have like the little trading cards of like cute K-pop boys from like either Stray Kids or BTS on there. It's like, oh, I like him. He got like fluffy hair and stuff. And it's like, okay, that's cool. So
yeah, I'll usually be the person to be like, yeah, sweet, and then just bypass.
yeah. So I mean,
but it's like, pretty cool though.
Yeah. So there you go. And plus, like, it's a original series that's been produced and has been highly popular. It's good to see original like material and a good story being highly praised, even if it's like getting more and more popular and whatnot. Like that just shows like how good K-pop Demon Hunters is. So even as a guy who doesn't really mess with K-pop all that much.
Yeah. Same.
I can get the charm of K-pop Demon Hunters. They even got like the anime boys who are also not anime boys, but the K-pop boy band, if you will. They also are like the demons and whatnot, and then all the K-pop idol stars are like the hunters.
And I was gonna watch it, and you ruined it.
It's only like it's literally in the trailer.
I haven't watched the trailer.
It's in. Well,
thank you.
I apologize in advance, ladies and gentlemen. So, with that said, that's all of our news we're going to be covering within the world of tabletop gaming and more. Now, onto the segment we're going to be sharing no other than tabletop stories, or that of Tales from the Counter. With that said,
Tales from the Counter.
Tales from the Counter. That's right.
That's
on the
cool.
spot. As such, we have been playing Dungeons & Dragons for over like several years. For me personally, I've been in this hobby for 8 years and counting as we speak. So in 2 years from now, I'll be celebrating my 10th anniversary of playing Dungeons & Dragons and tabletop gaming as a whole. And so, of course,
congratulations.
Thank you. But how long have you been getting into tabletop gaming?
I started, I think, about 3 years ago.
Okay.
3-4 years ago, I actually meeting you.
Oh wow, that's right. That's right. At Darby's Dungeon. Shout out Darby's.
Yep. One day I just decided to go online, see like, well, what's D&D is all about, and eventually I was like, oh, so okay, it's a role playing game, role playing system.
Yeah.
All right, I would like to try it out, and 3-4 years later, now I'm here.
Yeah, here we are.
Here we are.
And during those early days too, I think it was like what 2022. Yeah, 2022. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because at that time too, I went through a very rough patch, as mentioned on the We Are Referrals podcast, in my life, and thankfully, by some miracle, likely a conjured spell, no pun intended, that I decided, I'm gonna pick up playing Dungeons and Dragons again, like I used to do, back in high school and during 2020, which we all know what happened in 2020 that year with Backstreet Boys. Oh no, the Backstreet Boys. That's what we're calling it. You can't really, they're gonna steam us. So with that said, fast forward 2 years later, after 2020. Getting back into the tabletop space of running D&D, because I did start DMing in late 2019 2020 and hopping back on as a freelance DM, so I wasn't under Darby's tab at the time, but I did get to just run games, and they're cool about it. I'll have like a paper plate, fold it and like have it kind of stuck out, and with Sharpie just right, level 5 one shot, spots open, yada yada. Very, very freelance and very amateur, way back then. And also posting on the Discord that have spots open, thus leading to this guy here having interest in playing, and also bringing his mom. Which, by the way, how is she? By the way,
oh, she's doing real well.
She's doing wonderful.
Yeah.
So, and
my
also,
mom's doing mom things.
Mom's doing mom things,
yep.
And Robert was there too. So,
Robert, oh yeah.
I heard he's doing good. So
I haven't heard from
I haven't heard from him either. I heard like one point sometime last year, but
okay.
Alas,
at least he's doing good.
He's doing good, yeah. So alas, we played Wild Magic in the Wild, and after that, the rest was history. We got to play Dungeons and Dragons more on a weekly basis.
Yep.
Bringing back my homebrew region into a whole new story, whole
Oh,
new
Lord.
campaign of Weapons of Eternal Destruction.
Oh, gosh.
That will be an episode of its own for another day.
Oh,
sure,
man.
there is so much lore and history to the point I'm actually like making a historia for all the shit that happened in that campaign and the events prior of like Prophecy of Doom and then the sequels that didn't happen. But those events still happened. It just didn't get played out on the table and such. But of course, that's literally how we met, and years later, here we are at Tabletop here at the Empire Incorporated. So, without any further ado, we do have one story we're going to be sharing about how a rat can take out a CR. I think it was like what 1/4 skeleton in Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition.
Be surprised.
You'd be surprised.
Be surprised.
So, the stage is set. It is WasabiCon of 2025. It's Saturday night. It's at least 3 hours before closing. Everybody's out to the rave. Everybody's going to the Wasabi Palooza and so on and so forth. A little stage show, musical performance, and you name it. As such, all of us of the DM for Hire crew and acquaintances, colleagues, and friends alike, we decided to hang back into the tabletop room because it was open all night until closing, of course. And we decided to play one of our fellow DM's games since, you know, she was available to run a game and we had 5 players, so we thought, why not? As such, as we were going through our character sheets and all pre-chin, of course, I decided to go with the Druid because I don't play Druid all that often. So I wanted to grab that. It was a halfling. I think it was the Circle of the Land Druid as well on top of that. And of course, I got into play along Stu as well because I think he did Drunken Fist. And so you got to play as the Drunken Fist monk.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So pretty much from there,
that was pretty fun.
That was pretty fun. And so at one point, before we got into the first encounter of combat and such, I had Wild Shaped. I almost said Polymorph, but that's a 6th level spell. Correct me if I'm wrong. Either way, Wild Shaped, natural ability. I decided to turn myself into a mouse, but I was like, I'm just going to be a rat because there's already stats for it. But I think mouses and rats share the same stats and skills and whatnot because they're both like small rodents. So the rat and the mouse, I believe, they share the same stats and whatnot, right? Mm-hmm. So with that said, I decided, you know, I'm going to be transformed to a mouse, and I was like on one of the players' shoulders and whatnot. I think I was on the fighter, I want to say, or the barbarian, one or the other.
The fighter.
The fighter, that's right. So
the barbarian was doing barbarian things.
Very barbarian things. Yeah. So with that said, we're all investigating, trying to find stuff, and next thing you know, the fighter touches one of the bones that's in this room that we're in. And by the way, we're on a pirate ship too. Being swashbucklers and pirates, you name it.
Mm-hmm.
So the fighter, you know, goes and pokes some bones, and next thing you know, there are at least like 5 skeletons that rise and enter our first round of combat.
Barbarian doing barbarian things.
Barbarian doing barbarian things, smashing and bashing, you name it. As such, when it got to my turn, mind you, I'm still a rat during this whole moment. So when I go to attack this skeleton, I look over my like rat stats, and it turns out I only have like 1 attack, which is bite. I was like, okay, it makes sense. They bite. Only does 1 damage. 1 damage.
That's kind of valid.
And I think it does like +4 to hit as well for a rat. But by sheer miracle and circumstance, I managed to crit nat 20 on the die and dealt 2 damage to the skeleton.
Not 1, but 2.
2. And as such, proceed to try to figure out how to take out the skeleton and whatnot. And it got me thinking. So I went over to at least move within the space of the skeleton without triggering attack of opportunity yet. I see that the monk is about, give or take, like 15 feet away.
Good 15, 20 feet away.
Yeah, at least 3 squares.
And was near another skeleton.
That's true.
I was in danger.
In danger. as such, when I go to move away, I ask the fellow DM if, for the attack opportunity from the skeleton itself, if it can throw me as punishment. As such, she thought about it and said yes. So, step one square away, and of course, it hits because rats have low AC.
Mm-hmm.
I get flung off, or as illustrated by our DM, as I'm on the weapon of the skeleton, I get flung off and get thrown right towards the monk. And a cool thing the monks can do, they can deflect missiles for those uninitiated. And as such, with the proper reaction using your key point, and also did the damage roll of like how much points it recovered on your end and my end as well. At least going by the DM's rule. So rules are advised for those that want to attempt this trick. As such, I get thrown at you. You then get to throw back the damage onto the skeleton that was thrown from. Again, using I think it was a 1d10 at the time.
1D, yeah, a 1d10.
1d10 at level 4, by the way.
Surprising.
Yes. Thus flung back, and mind you, I'm still in my rat form because the damage reduction on it. Because again, it is a player character, myself, being thrown, and also you catching it on top of it. So, with that said, proceeds to get flown right back to the skeleton, return to sender.
Yeah, I didn't want it.
The GM or DM considers it bludgeoning damage because it's a rat. It's not anything pointy or slashing. It's just full blown rat. So, as some of you may know, or those uninitiated once more, skeletons are vulnerable to bludgeoning damage. Thus, that D10 from the reaction of deflect missile had resulted into, again, critting or doubling the damage to the point that it was enough to take out a skeleton with a rat. And in those concerned of how much damage that I had taken in my rat state, of course, would have brought me back to my regular halfling form either way. DM ruled the damage, of course, and I only dealt 1 damage onto myself, thus returning me back into my halfling form without losing any HP whatsoever.
I would say that was a lucky night.
Yes.
For us.
And a memory that we would not forget, witnessed by at least 7 people at the table. So it is immortalized here, not just in our friends circle community, but also on the interwebs of YouTube.
You guys,
where else are going to be posting this? Man, but yeah, that was just sheer chance to the point, as our friend quoted, saying, "This is why I love Dungeons and Dragons, because anything can happen at the table." Because man, that was one of my favorite moments from working that weekend. Of like, after we got done of having the players pay to play, and just having a good friends night after a pretty good morning and pretty good afternoon. But having that be the cherry on top for that day was just perfect. Perfect. Everything down to the last minute detail. Oh, man. Tag team.
Why did I knew you was going to say that?
And plus, there's been so many more things that have happened throughout the years of playing Dungeons and Dragons and other tabletop games as well, on top of that. Man, I think another good example that I think still rings to this day when it comes down to it. I want to say it was, fairly recent from my end. Also after the same night, by the way, where it was myself, it was Will and Zach and other Will. Yes, there's 2 Wills in the story. Where he came back and I got to run one of my modules that I ran at couple of conventions before. Like, I want to say I did at Jack's Pop.
I was just about to say Jack's PopCon.
Yeah. I don't think I did at Collective, but I did run it again at Darby's Dungeon as well. that particular module or homebrew module, excuse me, of Trials of the Sphinx, which he is featured right up there. If you can see him, he's a Antro Sphinx. For those that don't know, a particular Sphinx that touches or tests courage and valor. So a perfect Sphinx for having trials and tribulations for a party of so to go through and challenge such a magnificent beast, and so on and so forth. But this time around, because usually I built this with like for a party of 5, I had a party of 3, so it's going to be very interesting how it's going to run. Thankfully, when it comes to like the first, trials, if you will, I got one trial that's just nothing but riddles, to test the mind. I had one that was from the Darby's rendition where I was before the Battle of the Sphinx, but it's a whole like battle room that the party has to fight 4 elementals. Of course,
Ooh.
your water, your earth, your fire, and your air elementals. So I'll probably add that as like the canon, Trials of the Sphinx, module for future release and purchases and so on and so forth. And then of course there's another room where there is a Dao or a Earth Genie, for those that don't know, that pretty much had to make you roll your perception, survival, very skill check focused trial, basically. Basically finding 8 gold scarabs, about like small to tiny size, inside a room full of sand.
Ooh.
Yeah. So that was a lot of fun to see like how
That was a nice little treasure hunt.
Yeah, how they interpret like how they use their skills as like whether it be a warlock or a barbarian to try to find these scarabs in a room full of nothing but sand and whatnot. So of course, eventually they do find them with like some high rolls and everything. Pretty fun, kind of keeps the pace of like, oh, this is gonna be pretty easy, right? We solved some riddles. We found some scarabs. We used our skills. We used our mind. What's next? And then of course, again with the test of Arcana or magic. They fought the elementals, even being introduced by hologram by one of my wizard characters I ran in a previous one shot as a player, Eros Cadabra, who is a Vidalcan wizard. So for those that don't know. And then, of course, the grand finale being all of a boss battle with the Sphinx himself, the big bad cat guy, or the BBCG for short.
Be careful.
So, as such, again, as I said, with a party of 5 fighting a Sphinx, it's, intermediate, not too hard, right? It's mediate level, kind of well balanced, where they have a fighting chance against I don't want to say it was a CR 15 or a CR 10 creature. Pretty understandable, nothing too crazy. But for a party of 3,
yeah, that became a problem.
Yeah, it probably raised up to the hard scale or impossible if I was going to be fully ruthless. Shout out Gary Gygax. But I will say it got more interesting when the warlock, again from a pre-gen character that I pulled out for the friends and whatnot, so that way I didn't have to make character sheets and so on and so forth. He had cast Conjure Fae. On these stats on D&D Beyond, it has like examples of what phase to summon, and Will was going to cast it at like the highest level. So I was like, okay. And so for like the highest, rated monster, as an example that they gave Tyrannosaurus Rex, which is CR8 by the way, as an example of conjuring a fae, even though I want to say it's a beast, I believe, as it's categorized in the monster catalog. So that's I was like, you know what? As I grab my Tyrannosaurus Rex, as you see right above me.
Where is that?
Yeah, he's right
there.
So I was like, you know what? Yeah. So you wave your hands around and like a ring of mushrooms start to appear, like your fairy circles because it's fae.
Fae stuff.
Mm-hmm. As such, a huge like like silhouette appears, and then like a bright light with like green and bay colors splash out, and a Tyrannosaurus Rex now on the battlefield. And the funniest part is when it comes to Contra Fey, it's concentration.
He had to be way in the back in order to.
Oh, he
sure.
was. He was.
He was. Oh, thank God. Okay, good thing he was the front line.
However, my Androsphinx had long range spells as
Oh
an
shoot.
option. So me thinking, let's do a little bit of trolling as a treat. I hit the warlock in question. Of course, breaking concentration as per the rules, and of course, roll to see if he keeps concentration. He does not, and that means they fought the Androsphinx and a Tyrannosaurus Rex, which made the battle very interesting. Not only are you fighting a large monster, which being the Androsphinx, you're now fighting a huge monster, which is a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Way to go, buddy.
Way to go.
Way to go.
So, man, they were super stressed from the fact they have to fight two monsters. One being a dinosaur that can bite and grapple one of the players, but also has a tail attack that does a decent amount of damage. On top of the Sphinx that has 3 roar attacks, one of which can cause frighten, and also 2 out of the 3 players were frightened and unable to reach the Sphinx, including the rogue that had sneak attack. And the barbarian was frightened.
Don't tell me you party wiped it.
No, they by some miracle, the only person that had the lowest HP was the warlock by at least like 20 points of HP.
Holy.
They almost died.
Oh,
by sheer
boy.
miracle, the warlock managed to finish off the Androsphinx, and after such, the Androsphinx reemerges once more after realizing it was a fake Androsphinx, still with the might and bite of its power. Congratulates the adventuring party and gives them all the fortune and gratitude of being deemed mighty heroes to the eyes of the Sphinx, thus concluding Trials of the Sphinx. And
what happened to the old dino?
Oh, it died. And how it died? So the barbarian was grappled in the jaws of this T-Rex, right? Like Jurassic Park style. And next thing you know, from the player itself playing the barbarian, had a creative idea of throwing one of its like traps into the throat of the T-Rex while being in its jaws. I was like, oh, all right, yeah, roll for it. As such, succeeds and did enough damage to not only, as illustrated by yours truly, the trap going off inside the throat of the T-Rex, causing internal bleeding, falls timber style, with the head landing first and the rest of the body followed. And of course, our barbarian being covered in T-Rex blood, escaping the jaws of the
where a barbarian would go.
How a barbarian would go. Thankfully, he did survive. So, voila.
Surprising. Well, I mean, it's a barbarian, so
it's a barbarian.
It would raging. Take it. Yeah. Oh yeah. He's staying. He's staying in the fight.
Oh yeah. So, but hey, that took out one problem, and as mentioned earlier, completed the trial by defeating the mighty Androsphinx. So
that was pretty cool,
right? So
that's really good.
Oh yeah. And thus we'll conclude our discussions and tales from the counter of Tabletop. And with that said and done, thank you guys for watching the very first episode of Tabletop with yours truly, Luke Valor and Louie Rivera. If you guys want to watch more of this lovely series, please do subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you guys for watching. And last thing before we do dissipate into the great unknown, tell us, what are your tabletop stories of encounters, boss fights, hilarious roleplay moments that you can share either on this YouTube video or on our Instagram post over on DM for Hire _official. Well, with that said and done, and further ado, thank you all. Have a great rest of your adventure.
See ya.
So let's see, an extra role play. I'll be after, so get that done, and then go ahead. All right.
Well. Oh, that's okay.
Yeah. So we had our producers in the back. Go on.
Oh yeah, they're good details.
By saying the C word.
Go ahead, say it.
Yeah. Backstreet's back. All right. So
it's our producer.
yeah. So,
What's up, man?
what's up? That's
off work.
Nice. So, ladies and gentlemen,
That's our the producer.
yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we have a very special guest here.
What y'all do?
Yeah.
Doing something?
Yeah.
And a lot of editing. There it is.
My fault. Sorry, guys.
You're good. Ah, man. So, there he goes. Okay, so